said that you can secretly disable the warden by placing light sources in a 11 by 11 area around a skulk streaker, and after surrounding the streaker with light, let's see if the warden spawns. The streaker is clearly getting activated. However, as you can see, the warden is not spawning at all. You can also do this by placing wool blocks around the streaker, which as you can see, it doesn't get triggered whatsoever. In the case you do spawn the warden, we all know when fighting it, we are given the new darkness effect, making it almost impossible to see around us and even harder to fight the warden. But what if I said there's a way you can actually disable this? By going into accessibility settings, you can then find a new darkness pulsing slider all the way at the bottom. When turning this setting off, the warden's darkness effect will never go fully black, allowing you to always see where you are and the ability to fight and escape the warden. However, this does kind of ruin the warden experience. Need more help surviving the deep dark? When going into your sound settings, there's a new directional audio button. When enabling this, sound will now be played in each ear depending on where the sound came from in game, meaning sounds in the right will now be played in the right ear and sounds from the left will now be played in the left ear, making it easier to explore the deep dark, ancient cities, and roam your world without needing to worry about a creeper exploding behind you. Skulk sensors actually give off a different signal strength depending on the type of sound it receives. You see, walking gives off a signal strength of 1. However, jumping gives off a signal strength of 5. And even higher than that, placing blocks gives a signal strength of 12. But surprisingly, placing carpets doesn't get detected at all, making this the best way to get around ancient cities. And using this contraption will make you only detect specific sounds, allowing you to create endless secret door or trap possibilities. There's a very low chance that an ancient city will spawn with a hidden snow and ice room. I had to look over 10 seeds and finally found one, but no one exactly knows what this room means and why it's so rare. In several of the other chests that spawn in the ancient city, you can find snowballs, which can actually be used to distract the warden. It is said that using these was how the ancient builders of the city were able to get around. Wardens can also start to freeze when stuck in powdered snow, so maybe this dedicated snow and ice room was the ancient builders' freezer to produce snowballs and also how they were able to kill wardens. But it remains a mystery. When playing the new disc 5, 11, and 13 at the same time, they will perfectly sync up, creating a story of a person exploring the deep dark, then beginning to get chased by the warden into a new dimension. The sound of flint and steel is him trying to light a portal, which could hint to the structure in the middle of the ancient city actually being some sort of portal to a new dimension. And once he gets to the other side, he activates the skulk sensor, causing him to get attacked by an unseen force. This story could be hinting towards a new dimension and possibly even a new mob that's stronger than the warden. Axolotls can now heal you. When killing the mob an axolotl is fighting, it'll give you regeneration for 5 seconds. You can increase the amount of regeneration you get depending on the amount of axolotls around you. The more axolotls, the longer regeneration you get, maxing out at 2 minutes. On top of that, it'll also clear any negative potion effects from you that the mob has given. When doing this, you'll also receive the healing power of friendship advancement. However, axolotls will only attack aquatic mobs, except turtles, dolphins, and frogs, making them a very useful mob to hold on to when exploring the ocean. We all know how mysterious the ancient city is, but it gets even more interesting because when exploring the ancient city, skulls can now be found hidden around the structure. This is the first time they're ever spawning naturally in the world. The only way to obtain them in survival before this was to kill a skeleton with a charged creeper, which actually made them one of the rarest items in the game. So now it is much easier to collect in 1.19. So the most important question, why are there skulls placed around the ancient city? Could it be the skulls of the ancient builders, or is it a warning to the players that the ancient city is a very dangerous place? I guess we will find out as the Minecraft lore unfolds. Skulk streakers give off 3 calls before spawning the warden, but there's actually a hidden way to see which number of call you're on. When going into your settings, then enabling subtitles, sounds will now be labeled in the corner of your game. When triggering the streaker for the first time, the warden approaches sound will be played. When triggering the second time, the warden advances will be shown. And when triggering the third time, the warden draws close sound will be played. Meaning if you trigger the streaker one more time, then the warden will spawn. Using this feature will make exploring ancient cities much easier and also help stop the warden from spawning. Shifting near skulk sensor will actually give you a new advancement, but there are also 2 other new secret legendary achievements that you can now earn. After a frog eats a magma cube, it can drop a frog light depending on the color of the frog. And then after collecting all 3 of the lights from each of the different frogs, you receive the With Our Powers Combined achievement. In addition to that, when giving in a lay a cake and then having it drop it on a note block, you receive the birthday song achievement. 4 secret paintings were added, and the only way to obtain them is by running these 4 commands that when placed to look like this: the 4 elements: water, fire, earth, and air. However, they may have a deeper representation than that. The 4 Minecraft bosses: water for the Elder Guardian in Ocean Monuments, fire for the Wither as the resources to spawn one come from the Nether, earth for the new Underground underground warden, and air obviously for the ender dragon. This is all speculation, however, this is the first time new paintings have been added in over 10 years, so we can likely expect something in the near future to come from these. Wardens are the strongest mob in the game, even stronger than the ender dragon and wither combined. However, they secretly have some of the dumbest weaknesses. You see, they cannot jump over azalea bushes even though they're 1 block tall and the warden is 3 blocks tall. They also cannot escape a pool of water, yet they can escape a pool of lava. When standing on magma blocks underwater, they get completely stuck and cannot move at all, and for some reason causing them to endlessly spin around in circles, even when doing their sonic boom. Using these weaknesses and traps could help you maneuver around or even help kill the warden when in need, which actually makes the warden just a little less scarier to fight. Wardens may secretly be related to axolotls. You see, when looking at the bottom of Minecraft's 1.17 patch notes, you can find a sentence in the galactic alphabet. When translating this text, it reads axolotls are not what they seem. Then Mojang posted this concept art of the warden and axolotl together. The warden is even holding the axolotl, and after inverting the colors of the picture, you can see that the axolotls are the same color as the warden, and the warden is the same color as the axolotl. And that's not all. Wardens will attack any mob nearby them that makes a noise, except one, which is axolotls. To me, it seems like there's something going on. Maybe axolotls aren't as nice as they look to be. We all know the new block Skull Catalyst multiplies whenever a mob dies or XP drops nearby it. However, when killing the ender dragon, you can see that it actually has no effect to this, even though it drops the most XP in the game. And when asked on Twitter if this was a bug, a Minecraft developer replied mentioning it was not. It was actually intentional, and they have something else special planned for the ender dragon's death. This secret feature could mean or be hinting towards a major update to the ender dragon, or maybe even the end dimension as a whole. New jungle and swamp villagers were secretly added when spawning them in each of their own biomes. However, there are no jungle or swamp villages to exist. You see, several other biomes have their own distinct village with their own unique villagers to fit the biome. So why is it that these villagers were secretly added with no corresponding village? Some would think this is because if a village spawns on the edge of another biome and one of the villagers wander into it, they will convert. However, that doesn't work, and I believe that this secret addition may be hinting towards new jungle and swamp villages in the future. There's a chance that this wool structure will spawn in an ancient city, and when looking inside of it, hidden underneath is a campfire. This structure consists of the exact same blocks used in the Pillager's Woodland Mansion's wool room. You can also find several other dark oak wooden additions around the ancient city, which could hint towards pillagers living in the ancient city at some point after it was abandoned and possibly tried rebuilding or restoring it. However, for some reason, they eventually also abandoned it. Maybe the pillagers know more about the deep dark and the warden than we do, which is why they decide to now live high up on the surface, far away from the warden. Thank you for watching. Comment your favorite one and subscribe if you're new.